Hey, good morning everybody. It's Bobby, and today I want to talk about the deep rough. You know, I've gotten a few emails lately saying, Bobby, the grass has really gotten long in the rough there at Ramrock and Apple Rock. How do I get myself out of it? I don't even see the ball until I get within 10 feet of it. How am I supposed to get that thing all the way to the green? And I think that's a good question. And the answer to this really comes in two parts. One is philosophy, and the other is execution. Let's talk about philosophy. Let's think of it like this. We have to sort of admit to ourselves that when we're in deep rough, the longest clubs in our bag probably cut off about 8 or 9 iron. You're probably not going to get a 7 iron as far as you could an 8 iron. Why? Because you need the loft. You need that cutting edge of an 8 iron to get that ball to exit high enough to go anywhere. And so if you find yourself 200 yards away and you want to hit your 4-wood because that's your 200-yard club, then you'd be far better off to go ahead and hit the 8 or the 9 iron, knowing it's not going to get there, than to create a disaster trying with that bigger club. You know, I don't mean to overstep the bounds of proper conservatism when I say the problem with the rough is that people compound their trouble by trying to do more than they can do easily. And so you can hit it out easily with an 8 iron. Why try like heck to do it with a 4-wood, something ill-suited for the task? So that's the philosophy. Now, execution. We've got to do what we can to hit this shot and do so in such a way that that longer grass has the least effect on the shot itself. What am I talking about? Well, if I come into this thing kind of shallow from behind it, low to the ground, I'm doing battle with blades of grass long before I even get there. And that is not the winning formula. What I want to do is I want to come somewhat steep into that shot so that I don't even touch any blade until I get within a couple of inches of that golf ball. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to make a couple of adjustments, move the ball a little farther back in my stance, put a little bit more weight on my left foot, and lean the shaft of my club a little bit more left. Those three adjustments, moving the ball back, putting more weight on my left foot, and leaning the shaft left, create the descending blow, which is what I want. Then there's one more thing. On our practice swings, we have to figure out where that ground is. When someone takes a practice swing in the rough and only nips the tops of the blades of grass, remember that ball's sitting below. And so when all you do is touch the tops of the blades of grass beside the ball on your practice swing, all you really did was rehearse topping it. And so on your practice swings, I'm going to lean left, lean the shaft left, and put that ball farther back in my stance. So I got to hit the ground. I've got to figure out where that is. Once I've done that, I've got a sense of that. My aim now is to hit the ground just left of that golf ball, having made all those adjustments. And that's what will happen. Now that was a 9 iron, and it ended up going about 120 yards in the air, which isn't as long as I would typically carry it, but it also sort of knuckleballed a little bit because I didn't get any spin, so it ended up going 140 or 150 yards anyway. And so can you. And so let me say that again, as the philosophy goes, be conservative. And as execution goes, make those adjustments. Lay the ball farther back in your stance. Put more weight on your left foot and lean the shaft farther left on your 8 or your 9 iron, and then swing through in such a way as to be ambitious enough to hit the ground left of that ball. And I know that's going to help you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week.